Hello everyone, here's my review for Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. So yes, I do actually have this one on DVD. I bought it a little while ago, I think at a thrift store, but I hadn't actually used this DVD yet, but I finally did. I don't know if I ever had it on DVD as a kid, because Pirates of the Caribbean, especially the first three, were childhood favorites of mine, up there with stuff like Star Wars and Transformers, but I don't know if I ever actually had them on DVD. But I now own the trilogy on DVD, and this is not my first time going back to these movies as an adult. I do this rewatch basically every 2 years at this point, and every time I find more and more things to love about the first three films. And I really think they get thrown under the rug when talking about some of the greatest film trilogies of all time, and they deserve way more credit than they get. For a long time, this was actually not quite my favorite of the three films. I am an At World's End apologist. I think that film is criminally underrated and up there as one of my favorites. But I think I am ready to admit that Curse of the Black Pearl is the best of them. But the lack of credit that these movies get in modern film discourse is insane. Like, once in a while, I'll see people show them some love, but I really think they're one, way more influential than people realize, and two, of much higher quality than people realize. Because for some reason, a lot of people seem to dislike two and three, and this one people seem to think is just kind of good. But I am here to say I think Curse of the Black Pearl is a perfect film. Like, I think we need to acknowledge collectively that this movie basically killed a genre, not by being bad, but by being best in class. Like, there's a reason you don't see pirate movies getting made anymore, and it's because Pirates of the Caribbean dominated the genre. But outside of that, I really think it's the perfect summer blockbuster, and one of a few films that I would consider to be the perfect action-adventure film. Because Curse of the Black Pearl is so much fun from start to finish, and I think fun is valuable when it's well written, and Curse of the Black Pearl is a masterclass in screenwriting. The characters are excellent. Jack Sparrow might have the greatest character introduction in cinema history. You learn everything you need to know about him in like 60 seconds, and there's not a single line of dialogue. And it's also a hilarious scene. But I think people tend to forget about this film that Jack Sparrow wasn't the main protagonist. He is a protagonist, but the actual protagonist of this film is Will Turner. And I think the film balances them really well. Will Turner drives the plot, but Jack is our eye into the world of the pirates. And you see that balance on the antagonist side too. James Norrington and Barbossa are both great in their own right, but they serve different functions in the plot. And of course, we can't forget Elizabeth Swann, who is one of the stronger female characters out there in blockbuster cinema. Maybe less so in this film. She does get a bigger role as the series goes on, but even here, she has some great character moments. The characters are all well realized. One thing the first three films, but especially this one, do really well is give the characters crystal clear goals and motivations, and it's just really clean screenwriting. This film is also close to like 2.5 hours, but it's paced so well. The film is constantly moving forward, and that is very much in its favor. Even beyond the writing, though, this movie gets overlooked on so many levels. The acting is great. Obviously, Johnny Depp gets a lot of credit for his performance as Jack Sparrow, which he should. But Geoffrey Rush is great as Barbossa, but Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley both do well too. The visual effects also hold up incredibly well. Obviously, a lot of this was done practically, but even the CGI, being from 2003, looks really good even today. All of the CGI characters always feel grounded in the scenes they're in. And who could forget the score, man? The music in this film. This is one of the greatest movie scores of all time. The action sequences are also electric. They move with purpose. It's never just people fighting just for the sake of people fighting. And they always make great use of their environments. So yeah, the first three films in this series really are childhood favorites of mine, and they continue to be favorites of mine. So with that, I'm going to give Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, a 10 out of 10. I really think this is just such a great piece of blockbuster writing. It should, honestly, these three films should be the textbook on how to write clear characters. But that's it for this review. Stick around for the reviews of at least the next two. I don't know if I'm going to go back to On Stranger Tides and Dead Men Tell No Tales. I might, but thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.